Today's Shifting Gears brought to you by Holly.
Okay, one of the biggest issues that people face with classic muscle cars today is what to do with the trunk. Because from the factory, they just had like a pad going over there and you just threw a spare tire in and you were done with it. So all these areas here were open, up underneath was open. You saw all of the wheel wells and everything. The wiring, there's better ways to do it now. So what we're going to do is try to make this trunk look like the rest of the interior, make it all match. Now, some of the issues we've got, let me show you. Okay, we've added these struts, so we got to get around those somehow. We want to build some panels here that's going to cover this wiring. We want to hide the wheel wells. We don't really care about that area up underneath. That was where a spare tire went. Nobody cares about that. It's kind of a dead area, so we'll just cover that up. Also, you'll notice we have our battery over there. We want to hide the battery. We've got some relays and some wiring. All this back here with the tail lights, we'd like to hide all that, but we still have to have easy access to the wiring, the battery, and the tail lights. So, and we want to cover the fuel tank. Easy? It's not that hard. Let me show you what we got here. Now, what we have here is a trunk kit from TMI for a 67-68 Mustang, because they don't make one for the 67-68 Cougar. But they're very similar vehicles, but we can pretty much figure we're going to have to make some modifications to this. But at least this gets you in the ballpark. You don't have to make the panels from scratch. All right, the first panel that's going to go in is this headboard one that goes in front of the fuel tank. Fortunately, this fits pretty good. The rear panel we weren't so lucky on. Because of the size of the fuel tank we put in there, we had to modify this some. So if you'll notice, I had to cut off almost an inch right off the bottom here and then put the upholstery back up. Now, if you have never done any upholstery work, don't freak out here. This is very simple. All you have to do is take a knife or a screwdriver and just ear up those staples and then just make your cut and reapply the upholstery. Now, if you've never cut this particle board before, don't reach for the jigsaw. Best way to cut this is just with a pair of sheet metal cutters. Look at this. Cut it just like scissors. You can go around corners, you can do all kinds of stuff. Makes great cuts. If you want to use glue, as you can see, I used glue here. Make sure you use some good stuff. You see that 300 pounds? This stuff will hold. And remember, this is like a contact cement. So you spray it on both sides, you let it sit, then you connect it and it'll stick the first time. You don't have to fight with it when it's wet. This slides right in place around the trunk lock and the filler neck. For the side panels, we ran into the same issue. The ones for the Mustang are about a ½ inch too long. So we pulled off the upholstery, remade the cuts, and stapled everything back on, including the Velcro. This is important because that's what helps hold it in place. Okay, for carpet, this is what came with the kit. Now, as you can see, this is marked 67-68 Mustang Coupe, which is a little different than the Cougar. Let me show you how this fits. You got this piece of wood there that lifts it up off the fuel tank, and then you have this folding area, which is kind of a neat deal, but get some light on here for you. As you can see, that's not going to work. Not only that, our fuel tank is a little too high because we've got a bigger tank, and of course I've added these struts, so we got some issues here. So what I'm going to do is just make a plywood floor that's going to cover everything, corner to corner, wall to wall, and we just won't use this. Now let me show you, because I've already made it. Come on over here. This is what it looks like. Now this is the carpet that came with the kit. All we did was make our plywood panel out of ½ inch plywood, stapled it on there, cut it down. We've got the reliefs for the struts. We have the thing for the gas tank that actually was with it. So now we just have to put it in place. Notice how it slides right around those struts, goes around the gas filler neck, drops in place. Then all we do is just tuck this center part around, make it look good. All right, step in here, take a look at this thing. Look how nicely all this fits. Not too bad for a kit that was not made for a Cougar.